Okay, winding up our driver availability this morning is Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Dale, we appreciate you coming in. He drives the number 88 National Guard Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Dale, I know you did a little media deal yesterday up in New York City and saw you all over the place. And maybe talk about that a little bit, and then just coming here to the Brickyard. Certainly a lot of heritage and tradition here at this place.
Yeah, this place is it's working pretty good. This place does have a lot of history, and it is a fun racetrack to drive on just because of the history and everything that's happened here and all the races that you've watched growing up. We did go to New York yesterday for NASCAR, do a little bit of media, and that was pretty fun. It's always interesting going up there, but we just had a weekend off and just ready to get back to work. Everybody's recharged. I think Steve went over to Europe with the family and had a good time, and now we're back and ready to get back to work and focus on what we love to do, and hopefully we got a practice coming up here in a few minutes, and hopefully the car's got some pretty good speed in it. Hopefully everything works out.
Questions for Dale. We'll start right here with Claire B. Lang, and then we'll go to Marty Smith.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Can you talk about what it's like to race here and what it was like the first time you came to this racetrack?
Well, the track's the first time I came here, I ran a IROC race and just got destroyed by everybody out there. But it was just such a different track and a really big place, and the shape of the track's unique compared to anything else we race on. So it's a real technical track, and if you're just looking at the racetrack, you would assume that all the corners look relatively similar, and the car must go through each corner pretty much the same, and what you might be fighting in one corner, you would probably assume you'd fight in all of them. But to be honest, they're all the corners are really, really different, and extremely, it's odd as it is. They're extremely different from each other, and turn one is really, really tight and feels and appears as indication to how the car drives that it's a much, much tighter and shorter radius corner, and each corner after that appears to be less so, and with turn four being the larger corner, without a better way to describe it. I mean, when you look at them, they all look the same, but the car certainly doesn't drive the same through them characteristically year after year after year. So it's a technical track. That makes it a technical track. The fact that the car drives differently in each corner, and you have to start adjusting on the car and trying to improve on something at one end of the track, and not ruin something at the other end of the track or make problems for yourself at the other end. So it's not that makes it a bit of a challenge, and a good challenge, trying to get a car that goes fast and a car that doesn't have trouble at one end of the track and make things difficult.
Let's go to Marty Smith. Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Dale, in terms of prestige and coveted trophies, where does this place rank?
It's in the top 5 or 3. I would never place anything above the Daytona 500. Being that that's our biggest event, our marquee event, but it's second or third, but really, I don't know that you place importance on races specifically, so much so that you can categorize them, put them in order. So I think that it's an important race. A big, anybody who wins here gets to put their name along a list of names of legends, and not only in in the stock car racing realm, but also in open wheel and all kinds of other different series. But it's a pretty big deal, and there's a good amount of envy to the guys that have won this race before, which I don't really, more so than I feel at other racetracks that I haven't won at. So I would say it's pretty important. It ranks right up there.
Let's go to Bob, and then we'll go to Jeff.
Bob Hockers, Sporting News. Fans and people in the industry seem very concerned that you haven't announced any sort of sponsorship for the races that are still open. So I'm curious if you're concerned at all. And then also in that vein, Great Clips announced that they're doing 10 Cup races next year with Casey Kane. So does that impact Junior Motorsports and how many races they'll do with you?
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of, we have a lot of good conversations with a few potential partners about what we can do in 2014 and beyond. If anybody who's got any sense and about how the corporate world works knows that it's too late in the season, too late in the year to expect to put together a package for the rest of the season, and that's going to turn into a multi-year deal. It's just all the dollars and cents are accounted for at this point in the year, but that doesn't mean we can't put some things together and do some creative stuff with some people and some partners that we already have or whatever. But I don't think it's should be a cause for concern. We're in really good shape regardless with our partner National Guard and the races that Diet Mountain Dew has on the schedule. I mean, we're in pretty good shape there, but we have some I guess it's more important. It is important to try to fill out what we have this season, and we will. I don't have any doubt at all that we will get that done, but I think we almost have to look forward beyond that to try to find out how we can, who's going to be the partner that we can put a long-term deal together that matches up with what we want to do in the future. As far as JR Motorsports and the Great Clips people have been really, really good. It's been a great relationship, and it's a real new relationship with JR Motorsports. We hope to be able to continue that relationship. I think it's awesome that they are getting more involved in Casey's program on the Cup side, and that's got to be exciting for them. So I'm happy about that for Great Clips. I don't know that it affects our program, and we have a lot of good things at JR Motorsports as well that are in the works that aren't ready to come out of the oven just yet. But we have some potential to have some really interesting things to announce down the road with that. Due to how well we've ran this year and how we've been able to turn that program around, and we've definitely caught the eyes a few sponsors and potential partners. So we're looking a lot better on that front too. So I think everything's going to be fine. I don't believe anybody needs to be too concerned at this point. And when we can start announcing some things, we'll definitely do that.
We'll go to Jeff, and then right here to Sam.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. I think you might have been on your way to New York when Eldora was going on, but I was curious if you saw any of it or any of the coverage, and also wondering what you would think about maybe racing there in Cup at some point on dirt.
Yeah. Well, it looked like that was a lot of fun. I told my DirecTV to record it, and it recorded an hour and a half of it, but so I didn't get to see the last segment. But some kind of communication error, but that was disappointing to say the least, because I had pretty much cut off all contact with anyone who might ruin the outcome for me. But
You don't think it was user error, do you?
no, it wasn't user error, of course not. I really thought that was extraordinary for the racetrack, the series, the sport. What a risky, gutsy call to go do that, and I thought it was just extraordinary that NASCAR was willing to make the leap, and that Tony was there in the right place at the right time with the perfect racetrack and a historic place to run it. It's awesome that it all came together so well, and I thought the race was fun to watch. I really enjoyed what I saw. So I don't know if I think it'd be fun to go run there if they ever did an exhibition or something. I don't know about a full-on event, but yeah, maybe we end up doing that one day. But what I saw was entertaining and exciting, and something that is something that I hope I see more of. Just from a viewer's standpoint.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Dale, right here. Talking about exhibitions, your dad was one of the first 10 or so guys who were invited here in '92 to first do a tire test here. I wondered if you ever had any conversations about just what that was like for him, that first time on Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then obviously a few years later he won at this place. So it was probably just pretty cool, because this is a place that he never probably thought he'd get a chance to run at.
Yeah, I remember, I never really had any direct conversations with him, but I remember how excited he was and everybody else was about the tire test, that specific tire test. And I remember the mental and literal race to be the first guy on the racetrack once they got here. My dad and Rusty sort of were elbow to elbow trying to be the first guy to be onto the track first, and because that, for my father, for some reason that was historic in its own right. But I remember thinking as young as I was, I remember thinking about how big a deal it was for the sport that we were going to have a race there. And just, I guess the first thing that raced through my mind was, what would the racing be like? What kind of race would we see? What kind of style of racing would we see? When the cars went around such a big track with no banking and all the corners being 90 degrees, what would the cars do, and how would the drivers be able to compete with each other? But, and it turned out to be quite a thrill and a lot of fun to watch the first race. But it was just really overwhelming, because it was just like the door. I was just a kid, so I really wasn't an expert on the thing, but I felt like the door was always closed to stock cars racing here. It just felt like that was just one thing that would never happen, that the Indy cars and open wheel was just would be too protective, or the history and the tradition of this place would never be broken. But it was awesome that we got the opportunity to come here.
On a tight turnaround, we'll take two quick ones. David, and then with Lee.
David Carville, NASCAR.com. I realize you guys haven't been on the racetrack yet, but given who the traditional winners are at this place, and given where the 48 team is right now, do you think everybody's going to be chasing Jimmy?
Do I think everybody will be chasing Jimmy? I think he'll be fast as usual. I'll be surprised if they're not one of the more competitive teams. It always seems like there's somebody else that ends up running well. Greg Biffle runs well here. You got to expect Kyle to be competitive. Casey will probably be quick. You just usual players, but definitely we'll be watching Jimmy and what they're doing technically with their car, and trying to keep that information understood, and see what all our teammates are doing, really, to try to help ourselves be as competitive as we can this weekend. Yep.
Final question, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. As a Nationwide Series team owner, how would you feel about the Nationwide cars going to Eldora?
Going to Eldora, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be good for them, good for the series as well. The trucks are such a neat choice because of the side force that they create with the way the bodies are on the trucks. But I'm not sure how the Nationwide cars or even the Cup cars would run there. But I think it'd be fun for the series to have a couple dirt races. To be honest, Eldora is the perfect place to have this all tested out, and obviously it seems to be really awesome for the fans and something they really enjoyed. So I expect that it's something we could see more of. We'll just have to see what NASCAR wants to do.